A Google engineer named James Damore wrote a company-wide memo on diversity, and it went viral. And now he's fired.
Joining us on the KOGO News Live line is San Diego State University business ethics lecturer. Sorry about that, Dr. Wendy Patrick. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, Ted and LaDona.
So let's talk about this memo and the fact that he was fired. Where do we begin with this?
Well, that's one of the things that has everybody speaking about is, freedom of speech is one thing, but you've also got to comply with rules of the workplace. And that dichotomy, that sometimes those things are in direct conflict as here. And it also doesn't help that you also have a workplace where apparently there is gender disparity that's led to, Google's problems of its own. So it's almost feeding the fire to have this sort of an explosive discussion occurring within a company like Google. Now, this firing has been met with mixed results. On the one hand, you see lots of people expressing support, not that they believe his ideas, but that they believe in freedom of speech and they believe in the value of letting him say what he thinks. On the other hand, you've also got people that say, look, maybe you can say what you think when you're not on the clock or you're not representing your employer, but it is a toxic environment you're creating if you are discussing these types of things in a workplace that values equality. So those are sort of the dueling narratives that are surrounding this story. And one of the reasons it has gone viral is because you are hearing loud voices on both sides of the issue.
Now, one of the things that he outlined some biological differences in men and women in a very general way, and even said this is a generalization, but it's a these are studies that he cited, and said diversity also includes intellectual diversity, differences of opinion, politically, etc. And he was talking about how he thought it was very unfair that some people were silenced in the name of diversity. Is he right? Is he wrong? And did Google fire him just because he set off a firestorm?
Yeah, well, he certainly set up a firestorm. And, as far as Google's response to this, their official response really is what we're all going to be looking at as time goes on. I know that we continue to talk about the different reasons why it was very difficult to keep this man employed. But regarding the propriety of the things that he says, he kind of goes both ways on all of this, Ted and LaDona. I mean, on the one hand, he talks about how he, wants to make sure that women are not underprivileged, that they get all the same benefits as men do, and then just adds in a lot of his own thinking on, like you say, the biological diversity. Some of what's gotten a lot of fire is statements he makes about women being more cooperative, them not seeking status. And there's lots of women that certainly would disagree with everything he says, but is that a reason to say that he can't say it? Day by day, this continues to gain fire, as things often do when they're so explosive and they're now in the court of public opinion. And just today, there are some very explosive posts about him, about what he said. My prediction is we haven't seen the end of him or the dialogue he's created.
All right, Wendy, thank you so much. SDSU business ethics lecturer, Dr. Wendy Patrick, joining us on the KOGO News Live.